everyone. My name is Diane Olivo-Posner, and I'm the Principal Librarian Associate Director for the Exploration and Creativity Department of the Los Angeles Public Library. And I'm here today with the talented Cesar Mora, the Administrative Clerk from the John Muir branch, who is also a member of the library's LGBTQIA committee, and he's also on the Take the Lead team for the library. Congrats on that, Cesar. Today, we're here to introduce the LA Made program. LA Made focuses on the diverse landscape of Los Angeles. It highlights the immense artistic and performance talent that has developed in the course of the city's eclectic history. I would like to thank the National Endowment for the Humanities, our Library Foundation, and our behind-the-scenes staff for helping us bring these amazing programs to you virtually. The next LA Made will be on Thursday, October 8th at 4 p.m. with Ana Lilia. Ana is a celebrated breath work coach and intuitive healer whose practice focuses on the breath as a pathway for transformation. She's been featured in the LA Times, Harper's Bazaar, Bravo TV, among other publications. One of our own librarians from the engagement and outreach team suggested we reach out to Ana for this program. So if you're ready to change the way you feel by changing the way you breathe, this program will be of interest to you. The world has been so stressful, and a lot of times when we experience stress, we hold our breath. I know I do. Or we start to do shallow breathing. So join our conversation with Ana Lilia to learn how breath work can help manage stress and anxiety. We will end our conversation with Ana with a breathwork meditation to help you feel calm and relaxed. Now, over to Cesar, who will tell us about some of the amazing LAPL LGBTQIA committee work and about our program for today. Cesar?
Okay, thank you, Diane. As Diane mentioned, I am part of LAPL's LGBTQIA committee, which is composed of library staff from around the city and has a goal to augment and celebrate the LGBT plus community via programs, collections, and services. We usually are at the LA Pride Parade. We also do outreach at different events from time to time. We've been fortunate enough to do DragCon in the past, but we also have programs throughout the libraries at different times of the year, highlighting LGBT plus voices and things of that nature. And then, so now I would like to introduce today's program, aka Why You're Here. So today's presenter, Pickle, is LA's premier live singing drag queen and host. Pickle has been featured in national ad campaigns for Dollar Shave Club and Gilead Truvada, as well as a guest star spot on Tyler Perry's Sistas. She's also the LA organizer of Drag Queen Story Hour and has performed with the organization at the Music Center, Independent Shakespeare Company, and llama, as well as libraries and museums throughout LA County, including our own. I've seen her perform and it's been a joy to watch. Today, Pickle will be presenting ShakesQueer, All the World's Stage, and no one takes this more literally than Drag Queen Story Hour's Pickle. It's time to grab a sequin curtain and learn a Shakespearean speech with a drag queen. Shakespeare can seem hard, but with a step-by-step workshop and a lot of hairspray, Pickle breaks it down so anyone, that means you, can perform a Shakespeare speech like a pro. Never even heard of Shakespeare? Who cares? Let's have fun. Please welcome Pickle.
Hello! I hope everyone's doing great today. My name is Pickle. Thank you so much, LA Made and LA Public Library for having me today and for that very lovely introduction. This is a random man. No,
I snuck in.
This is my dear friend Darwin. He is going to be helping me today. He will be our model, our pupil. So that I can kind of talk him. He'll be our actor. That's the word, actor.
Yes.
And also they're sharing a link in the comments. Thank you so much. The link in the comments, I highly suggest you grab it. It actually has the speech, the Shakespeare speech that we will be working on today, as well as a glossary of all the words in the Shakespeare speech, which will become clear what we need it for in just a few minutes. So basically, a little intro, a little background behind this program. I thought it would be really fun to do because I love Shakespeare. It's so beautiful. The language is so rich. And when I was in high school, there was a Shakespeare recitation contest, and I was like, well, there's no way I would do well at that because I'm not a Shakespearean actor, and it was very intimidating. But then I was like, you know what? I think that Shakespeare was initially performed for commoners. So I was like, I'm a commoner. I could do that. So I grabbed a dictionary and I just looked up every word and I just practiced with the iambic pentameter. And I actually ended up winning the Los Angeles recitation contest. I made it to the semifinals and then I made it to the finals. Not because I was the best actor or the best Shakespearean actor, but because I really focused on the words. And so that really inspired me and then also, my brother, who has never acted in his life, he's a drummer, he had to memorize a Shakespeare speech. And I was like, well, I can help you. And he was awesome through this technique. So I was like, well, you know what? If my brother can do it, why can't anyone do it? You know, Shakespeare, it can be intimidating, but it's not written in Old English. It's written in modern English. It really is for everybody. So, without further ado, Darwin, and let's introduce our specimen today, Darwin. Darwin is a PhD student at UC Irvine. Can you tell them a little bit about what you're studying?
Yeah, so I'm studying, sort of falls within queer anthropology and queer studies. I'm studying the way that gay people and queer people connect to each other online, the different platforms, the slang that they use. And I really think that this is important, right? Because we need to know more about who we are as a community. And I think that helps us know ourselves a little bit better.
Yes, so certified, very queer.
Yeah.
Queer space.
I have my
here.
card.
We're in my beautiful mansion. This is just a walk-in closet.
Yeah, basically.
Off to the side. There's a whole estate through that door. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to jump into the speech itself. Now, if you've downloaded it or you have it, you will have already seen, but if you don't have it in front of you, this is actually from my favorite Shakespeare play ever. It's called Titus Andronicus, and it was Shakespeare's first tragedy. And I love this play because it's so over the top. It's very violent. I think 9 people die on stage.
Yikes.
It's very bloody, very intense, some light afternoon reading. And one of the other reasons I love this play is because, and I would suggest that everyone read it, is because it's very funny. And also it has the beginnings of a lot of characters that you see pop up in later Shakespeare plays. You've got a little bit of King Lear in here. You've got a little bit of Hamlet. You've got a little bit of Lady Macbeth. This isn't a theater. It doesn't matter. I get struck by lightning. So it's really cool to see Shakespeare kind of working on these characters and drafting these characters that he's going to bring back later. So highly suggest. And today, in the grand tradition of Shakespeare where the boys played girls, which everyone's like, well, Shakespeare had the first drag queens. That was because of sexism. So I don't think we should celebrate the fact that they're doing drag necessarily, excluding women from theater. But today, we are going to have Darwin playing the character of Tamara. Now, you don't need to know much about the context, because we're going to be focusing on the language. But this is from Act 1, Scene 1. And basically what happened is that Darwin will be playing Tamara, who is an empress, a queen, who has been captured and defeated. So she's actually in a cage at this point. But they let her out of the cage. And then they murder her son in front of her after she begs.
Great. Normal.
For them to not. Normal. And then in this speech, she's marrying the new emperor, the new emperor of Rome, Saturninus. And she's trying to convince him to listen to her because Saturninus has been betrayed by Titus Andronicus, the title character. And he's like, well, I'm going to get I'm going to get Titus. But Tamara's like, no, be his friend and we'll trick him and then I'll get him later.
Which is what I would do.
Which is
This
what
is very
Darwin would do
perfect.
anyway because it's so petty. So I thought that Darwin would start by just doing a cold read of the speech. So
Great.
on your mark.
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you, but on mine honor dare I undertake. For good Lord Titus innocent in awe, whose fury not dissembled speaks his grief. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on base suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be one at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are but newly planted in your throne. Lest then the people and patricians too, upon a just survey, take Titus' part, and so supplant you for ingratitude, which Rome reputes to be a heinous sin. Yield at entreats, and then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all, and raise their faction and their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain.
Yes, very excellent work.
Thank
Excellent
you.
job.
Rough go at it.
So, yeah, we gotta start
Yeah.
somewhere. So basically, the steps that I take, and I'm not a Shakespearean actor. I have no authority to talk about that. No, I don't have to memorize Shakespeare a lot, but when I do, which I do to pass the time sometimes, this is how I break it down. So the first thing I do is I look up all the words in the speech. So every single word, even words that I think I know the definition to. So a word like love, I might think like, well, I know what love means. But then when I read the definition, it really informs how we're going to color that word when we're reciting it. So I did all the heavy lifting for you. And I actually went through and looked up all the words, and they're in the glossary. But what I had Darwin do is that I had Darwin highlight the words that stuck out to him as words that he really doesn't understand, and he doesn't know what they mean necessarily or is having trouble with them. So Darwin, what's the first word that popped out to you?
Author.
Author. Okay, so let's consult the glossary. So an author is one that originates or creates something, the source. So author. Now, I like to really chew on the words because Shakespeare gives us these just beautiful cascading rhythms and vowels. So say the word author.
Author.
Author, perfect. So now think about, close your eyes, travel with me on a journey through the mind and the soul. Okay, so think of what an author really is. One that originates or creates something, the source. Think about how significant that is. It's not just an author. It's not like author. It's like author. You are the creator. Now say it again.
Author.
Author. And really chew on the word. So like author. Let every vowel and every consonant sort of writhe through your mouth as you think about what an author really is.
Author.
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 You are the creator. Author.
Author.
Author. And let's look at the
Author.
context of the word. So she's saying, not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. So Saturninus has been like, you're dishonoring me. And now you respond with, can you say it?
Author.
No.
Just author.
No, just the first two lines.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, I should be author to dishonor you. And then you've highlighted, let's look at dishonor too. Okay, so dishonor is actually not in the dictionary, but it is the opposite of honor. So I brought up honor, and I took the liberty of creating my own definition. So honor is a good name or public esteem. It's good name or public esteem. Mm-hmm. So dishonor is lack or loss of honor or reputation. The state of one who has lost honor. So this is a big deal, especially in Rome, when it's like honor is everything to these people. So if we think author, the creator of dishonor for this person, so she's saying like, I don't want to be the creator of this horrible thing, you know?
Yeah.
So let's go through. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. And forfend means to forbid or to protect.
Okay. So
Yeah. Try it again.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the gods. So, like, the gods of Rome. What is a god? A god is a being perfect in power, wisdom, and goodness who is worshipped as creator and ruler of the universe. So if you notice at the beginning of this speech, we're getting a lot of words that evoke this notion of creation and all-powerful beings. So, and it makes sense because she's flattering this person. Access the original, the OED. The link is in the comments with all the resources. So there should be the speech and also the glossary that we're looking at. So if you know, as I mentioned just now, she's evoking all of these kind of otherworldly notions. So we've got like creators and gods, and that's because she's really flattering this person. So, and it's important when we're performing Shakespeare. There's so many, especially in modern times where it's in modern English, but we're not used to this way of talking. And if you are, kudos. I would love that. But you really, when you're reciting Shakespeare, it's really about evoking these ideas. So like, you have to think that a contemporary audience isn't going to catch every word. But the words that they do catch have to pop out and summon these images. And that's really why Shakespeare, and all these are all opinions fine. Like, don't, these are my opinions. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. But I really think that Shakespeare would do this where he would include a lot of words with very similar kind of ideas and themes through, like, the first chunk is going to be a lot of this, like, this God language and a lot of this creation language, because his audience was primarily commoners. So like, they would catch these little words and then they can everyone kind of understands what's going on. So let's try it again.
Okay.
So not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Am I talking to you? Or
You can talk to me, yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
I'll be Saturninus.
Great,
I did
perfect.
play Saturninus once. Okay.
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, great. So like, think of this word author. Let's look at it again. So like, and like, think about what she's saying. What is she saying here?
What is she saying? She's saying, no, I'm not trying to offend you. I would never offend you.
Yes, she is saying that. But how is she saying it? She's saying, not so, my lord, the gods of Rome, literally the gods, like the creators of the universe, would forbid such a thing. She's not just saying, oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. She is literally saying, everything we believe in is keeping me from offending you right now. So think about that kind of, that intensity, like when you say the word gods.
Gotcha.
Of Rome, which is their land. It's really flattering. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take it to the
Take
deep
it.
end. Okay.
Take it all the way.
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, delicious. It's very delicious. And now we're gonna do. So I know that these are only 2 lines, but this is the kind of chewing that will really get us to that point where we're evoking these themes and this language. Snatch that. She's like. So now we get to go into the iambic pentameter, and another reason that I love this speech, other than the fact that we get into like massacring later, it's so much fun. Massacre is such a great word to say in iambic pentameter, but. This speech fits very neatly into iambic pentameter. Some speeches in Shakespeare, like there's a lot of like, they used to say things very differently. So like certain words had fewer syllables and stuff, but this one breaks down really easily. So that's convenient for us. So we're gonna break down the iambic pentameter of these 2 lines. Okay. And so iambic pentameter, obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, Shakespeare wrote a lot of his verse in iambic pentameter, in which there is iambic pentameter. There's basically 5 accents in the course of the line, and those accents indicate the most important words. So those are the words that Shakespeare needs us to hear. The other words are linking them together. I mean, all words are important. But so we're going to break it down. And the easiest way is like riding a horse. So like we go ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. And that's a line. Right? So let's do it together. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Like we're trotting on a little horse. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Do it with us. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Again. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. I'm telling you got to get it into your body. So like even a little more. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Okay, great. So now, not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you. So let's break it down. We've got not so, my lord, the gods, obviously, see, important word, of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you. I should be author. So the syllable that gets the emphasis is author. To dishonor you. Dishonor you. Not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you. I should be author to dishonor you. And sometimes they catch those like fun little like author. It's like a really fun way of talking. Okay, great. I would recommend it for daily life. So let's try it with the iambic pentameter.
Okay. From the top.
From the top.
Not so, just like regular iambic.
And really, you can, when I'm first learning, I really overdo the iambic pentameter. Okay. It's so helpful, and you will memorize it so fast.
Okay.
It's like getting a song stuck in your head. So really like ba-dum, 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 ba-dum.
Got you. Not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you.
Dishonor you.
Dishonor you.
Not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you. Not so, do it with me again.
Okay. Not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you.
And now let's think more about that character again. So like, what is she saying here? She's saying, not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you. She's really laying it on thick. Because she's got a plan. This is a woman with a plan. The plan is crazy. It involves her literally dressing up like a witch and trying to trick Titus Andronicus into thinking that she's a deity, and then he bakes her children into pies. So it doesn't work out.
And we stand
that kind of pettiness. But for now, she's like, really laying it on thick. Not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you. It's like, really, like you can really play it up. So give it a shot.
Okay. Not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, totally. And I really want to lock into that iambic pentameter. So
yeah,
part of getting the emphasis of the important beats and the important words is kind of easing back on the words that aren't accented. So,
okay.
Not so, my lord. Not so, my lord. Do you kind of hear that? How it's like, it's very musical. So it's like, not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, now connect the thought. So it's like,
okay.
Not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you. And think about like the crescendo of the thought.
Okay. Not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, and now try to connect forfend and I. So it's like, not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you. It's like one complete thought, but it's crescendoing.
Gotcha. Not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend. I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, and now think about the gods of Rome forfend. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Forfend I. So it
Really
just like
connects
leads
the
into
thought.
the I.
So yeah,
Okay.
now we're kind of we're trying to, now that we've established the hard rhythms, we're trying to soften them.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to I should be author to dishonor you.
Should be author to dishonor you. Yeah, we can lose a little bit on should.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
I should.
Ugh. Keep mixing it up.
It's okay. This is great. It's fun.
Okay.
See, and the more you say it, the more comfortable you'll be.
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, now let's say it 3 times together.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. You.
Yeah. And now, there's a paper?
Okay. Oh.
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. You memorized it. You have memorized it, and you didn't even know. And now that you're out of the paper...
Oh, God. Am I ready?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
Not so, my lord.
The gods of Rome forfend I should be honored to dishonor you. Yeah, again.
Okay.
Not
So, my lord.
The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. And now, give it to them. Go.
Oh, God. Not so, my lord. The gods of...
Rome.
The gods of Rome. Not so, my lord.
Just
the gods
don't
of...
panic.
Okay.
Soften. Let's take
Okay.
a breath. Think about the iambic pentameter.
Okay.
Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Try it.
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be honored, author to dishonor you.
So yeah, so like back to the thought of what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Not so, my lord. Like, so he's like, you're trying to dishonor me. And then she's like,
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome.
Your homeland,
Yeah,
sir.
The gods of Rome forfend I should be honored to dishonor you.
So what is she
Author
saying?
and-
Author to dishonor you. So remember, what is an author?
Creator.
A creator, and like kind of like a god.
I'm a god.
Yeah, I'm a god. So author to, and what is dishonor? Think about the word dishonor. We heard it's like the opposite of an honorable person, the opposite of someone who's good. So dishonorable. Say it with me.
Dishonorable.
Dishonor. Disgusting. Dishonor. No one wants to be dishonored. So the gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. Dishonor you? I am the empress. I would never. Let's try it to me.
So, from the top.
Not so.
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah, now we're gonna kind of separate the thought. So it's like, not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Okay.
Try it.
Not
Really think about the
yeah.
individual thoughts.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah,
Great.
Dishonor. So like, and I want to hear even a little bit more like dishonor. Like, oh gosh, I'm terrible.
Yeah, okay.
I would never. She's saying she's crazy. Okay.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be... Oh,
I should.
I
Yeah.
should.
Mhm.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be authored to dishonor you.
Yeah, dishonor. Say it.
Dishonor, sorry.
No,
Dishonor.
Dishonor. Yeah.
Dishonor.
Just take. I should be authored to dishonor you. Try
Yeah.
that.
I should be authored to dishonor you.
Yeah, dishonor you.
Dishonor you.
Yeah, and so then we get this distinction between dishonor and you. It's like, think about how is she trying to make him feel about himself?
Oh, right. Dishonor. Like,
Tell
you
me.
would never be dishonored.
Yeah, tell me what she's trying to make him feel about himself.
She's trying to make him feel great. Like, he's amazing, he's beyond reproach and beyond dishonoring, and she would never dare.
Yeah, she would never do it. And what word in the phrase is attached to him?
Oh, dishonor.
You.
Right? You. Oh, you. I'm like,
yeah.
I thought.
That's your question.
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
like, what?
She's how does and because like sometimes we throw away words like you or like because they're pronouns, but it's
Right, I
like
see what
you
you're
is
saying.
the most
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
important word in the sentence. Why?
Because that's like the chair. That's the thing on the altar. Like he's
Yeah.
amazing. Like
She's taking words like God and author, these words that evoke creation, and then she siphons them into the word you. And that's why the phrase ends on you. Because all of that she's taking, and I like to think of it very visually. So it really is kind of like a like, it's all being lasered into that word.
Mm-hmm.
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. You. Never. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. You precious thing, you beautiful angel. So try it one more time.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you.
Now you. Let's think about, we've got this ugly word, dishonor, and then we've got this delicious word, you. It's a beautiful vowel. You precious. Say it with me. You. Try it. Author to dishonor you.
Author to dishonor you.
You. It's not a question.
Okay.
It's a sentence.
Yeah.
Author.
Author to dishonor you.
You really want to. You don't want there to be a question mark on you.
Yeah.
So you.
Dishonor.
Say it with me. You.
Okay.
And now think you. Yeah, totally. We want to hear that period.
Okay.
Author.
Okay. Author to dishonor you.
You.
Am I still going up? I think I am.
A little bit, yeah. But it's okay.
Okay.
Ba-dum.
Yeah.
It ends. Ba-dum. You. Try it again. You. Good.
Okay.
Author
to dishonor you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the rhythm.
You.
And then we bring in the syrupiness.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on because there's so much great text in this speech. But although I could go on about that.
Yeah.
I could spend 5 hours on one sentence. Let's skip ahead to the end of this. So she's talking about not so, my lord, the gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you, but on mine honor dare I undertake for good Lord Titus innocence in all, whose fury not dissembled speaks his griefs. So basically we've got, she's trying to convince Saturninus that Titus Andronicus can be trusted. So she's like, for good Lord Titus, innocence in all. That's another great word. Innocence in all, in everything. Whose fury not dissembled speaks his griefs. Then, and this is great, then at my suit look graciously on him. We'll start there. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. So, where's your talk? Do you have it? Oh, I took it from you. So we've got that.
Yes.
So I want you to try, then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Okay. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Great. So let's think about the word graciously. What does graciously mean? Well, let's consult our glossary. Gracious means marked by kindness and courtesy. So can you say the word gracious as if it means marked by kindness and courtesy? Say it, gracious.
Graciously.
Graciously. Yeah.
Graciously.
Say it kindly.
Graciously.
Yeah, see? Good. Look graciously on him. Lose, and what does lose mean? To bring to destruction. That's kind of an intense word. Like, it could be a throwaway, but it actually means to bring to destruction. Used chiefly in passive construction. Okay, so lose, to bring to destruction. So then at my suit, basically she's saying, then I take responsibility. Suit means for her to take responsibility. Then at my suit, look graciously on him. Lose not, and that's funny because lose is not the operative word in that phrase, because it's the first word, and the second word is the iambic pentameter. Lose not. Why? Because lose not is like the full phrase, the full word. So lose not, destroy not so noble a friend on vain suppose. So just like, don't be a narcissist.
Yeah.
Don't think that don't lose this powerful ally because you think he's insulting you. And then nor with sour. And sour is a great word. What does sour mean? Being, inducing, or marked by one of the 5 basic taste sensations is produced chiefly by acids and is characteristic of lemon juice. So it's acidic, sour. Say it with me. Sour. Ooh, mwah. And sour is a great word because you get like sour. You have to actually feel sour. You have to feel like when you eat something sour, your mouth kind of like puckers up. So the word sour is being used in this way that's very like physical. It's like sour. Sour is a great word. Nor with sour looks, afflict. So like, afflict, to cause pain or suffering to distress so severely as to cause persistent suffering or anguish. So afflict is not my ride. Afflict is not a casual word. It means to distress so severely as to cause persistent suffering too. So there's a lasting effect to the word afflict. So sour looks afflict his gentle heart. And the stakes for her in this moment are so high because she wants to kill all these people. So she's really got to win over this guy, the emperor, who happens to be the emperor of Rome. So let's start then at my suit. Give it a whirl.
Okay. So do the whole thing all over again?
Try it.
Okay. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Yeah, and you're already kind of hearing that iambic pentameter. So let's break it down. So then at my suit look graciously on him. Then at my suit.
My suit.
Then at my suit. Look graciously. So gracious has two. It's so important that it has 2. Okay, great. Look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend. So this is an interesting moment. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose. This is a great opportunity for something that happens in Shakespeare a lot, actually, where we're going to, the way it's written is going to connect. Lose not so noble a friend. So we would say noble, but they would say noble, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So lose not so noble a friend. So you have to make it, and that's why the iambic pentameter is so important to go through with, because that's where you realize where those moments are. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks, and then that's another part where we get with and sour are connected. So nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. And then we go into the aside, which is so important. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take it from then at my suit.
Okay. So can we just go with the rhythm?
Go with the rhythm.
Okay. So then at my suit look graciously graciously on him.
On him.
On him.
Yeah.
Lose not so noble a friend.
Noble friend.
Noble a friend.
Lose not so noble a friend.
On vain suppose. Nor with
sour looks.
Wait, so where
So
is
it's nor with sour looks. Nor with sour looks. It's
Got it.
connected. Nor with sour looks.
nor with sour looks of
So you're gonna have to connect sour and looks to make it work with the rhythm.
nor with sour looks
Yeah.
afflict his gentle heart.
Yeah. Try it again. Then at my
Okay.
suit.
The same way?
Yeah.
Cool. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose. Nor with
sour looks.
There you go. Nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Afflict his gentle heart.
Yeah.
There you go.
So now we can start kind of like incorporating it into our body a little more
Okay.
casually. So
Okay.
then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Great.
Do you hear that? How it
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like
Mhm.
becomes normalized. Okay, try it.
Just how you did it right now?
Yeah.
Great. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Yeah. Do you hear how it kind of
Yeah.
like goes in there? And now we want to think about the words more. So then at my suit look graciously on him. Remember gracious? Graciously.
Yeah. Graciously.
Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose. And so vain suppose is like emptiness. So we want to hear vain suppose, like, what? No,
Yeah.
vain suppose,
Yeah.
that's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Great.
Try it again
Okay.
from then.
Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not a nobler friend.
Lose not so noble a friend.
Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Yeah, gentle heart.
Gentle
And think about the
heart.
word gentle. What does the word gentle mean? Let's look it up. Gentle means free from harshness, sternness, or violence. So the way we say that should be
Delicate.
free. The way we say it should be free from violence or harshness.
Gentle.
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 Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. And now, yeah, think about that seduction that's happening here while you give it to me again.
Yeah. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, and then we get the best part, where we get an aside. So an aside in Shakespeare is where everything kind of goes out the window. Suddenly, she's talking to him, and then she's talking to him and the public. So like everything we've been saying up to this point has been public. So everyone in Rome is hearing what she's saying. And then when we have an aside, so she takes him aside, and now only he can hear what she's saying. Everyone else is just like,
Yeah.
twiddling their thumbs and not paying attention.
Right.
Which is very convenient. And then with an aside, we want the transformation of the tone.
Mm-hmm.
So suddenly we go from like, you're so awesome, everything's great, like be so nice, don't lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart, be won at last. Like,
Yeah.
then we get this kind of murderous, where we're seeing what is living underneath all the language that she was just delivering. So this is the internal, the truth of the character is coming out here. So let's take a look at be won at last. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. So, basically she's saying, leave it at the door. You're mine now. Right. She's taking ownership, which she, there's this great duality in this speech where she starts the first part of the speech. She's like, you are so important. You need to, and she's like playing up Titus, she's playing up Saturninus, and then she's like, but actually, I'm the only one that matters, and I'm the only one with power.
Great.
Even though she's like literally been captured. But whatever. Okay, so let's go from lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. And like, let's try to get a character shift there.
Okay. Cool.
So those 4 lines.
Lose. Okay.
Yeah.
Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents.
Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. Yeah, that was a good shift.
Yeah.
So, lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. Yeah, good.
Okay. So start from
again.
lose not.
Lose, yeah.
Okay. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents.
Yeah, and connect those thoughts of dissemble all your griefs and discontents. And this is great too, because Shakespeare is just such a master of vowels and consonants. Suddenly, we get dissemble all your griefs and discontents. What's happening there? Texturally.
Oh, lots of S's.
Lots of S's. Why?
Because
she's a snake!
Snake!
Isn't that amazing? It's like, we've got, lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. We've got all these F's. We've got like heart, gracious, like, the emphasis isn't on the S's earlier, and now suddenly we've got literally dissemble is in a place where the emphasis is on dissemble all your griefs and discontents. So like, isn't that amazing? It's like suddenly she's like, then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. And like, well, obviously when you get on stage, you're probably not going to be like, dissemble all your griefs and discontents. But while you're practicing, it really helps to kind of like evoke that imagery. And like, at people watching, again, they're not going to catch every word. But if they're hearing dissemble all your griefs and discontents, the image of a snake is just going to kind of manifest itself. And it's going to paint that character. So let's try it. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose.
Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents.
Yeah. Try it again.
Go,
just go.
Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Line.
Dissemble.
Dissemble all your griefs and discontents.
See, you know it.
Okay.
Try it again.
Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor afflict
with sour looks.
No, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents.
Yeah, dissemble, and maybe we can like even look out at that moment. So it's like
dissemble.
Or actually, we would switch it. So, lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are but newly supplanted in your throne.
Oh.
Lest the... Am I right? Oh, I'm right! Okay. No, I'm wrong. You are but newly planted in your throne, lest then the people and patricians too. So what she's saying is she's like, don't focus on this petty thing.
Yeah.
Fake it. And then I've got a plan. So let's skip forward to the plan.
Okay, gotcha.
In our last little stretch here, we've got about 5 minutes. So let's skip forward to the plan. Oh my god, it's so good. Okay. Yield at entreats and then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all and raise their faction and their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain. So good. Oh my god, it's so delicious. I'll find a day to massacre them all and raise their faction and their family, yeah. And raise their faction and their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain. And then the next one,
a win. You just become.
The next line is great because the next line is like, "Come, Titus, come." It's like, oh, it's this mental breakdown. I mean, she did just watch her son's throat get slit and all his blood leak out on stage, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
But so let's try that. Try it from yield at entreats and then let me alone. I just want you to get to say this.
Okay.
And yeah, think about the iambic pentameter.
I am. Yield at entreats and then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all and raise their faction and their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain.
Good, yeah. And I love... Oh, thank you. I love this part of the speech because it's such a great opportunity to crescendo. It's such a delicious crescendo. And movie night, if you want to have a great movie night, Titus. Julie Taymor actually directed a movie version of Titus Andronicus, and Jessica Lange plays this part, and it's so good. Anyway, okay. So like, yield at entreats, and then let me alone.
Got you.
I'll find a day to massacre them all, and raise their faction and their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and let them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain. Come, Titus.
Delicious.
So funny, delicious. The cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know. And the word know is great. Know means to I looked it up in the dictionary, obviously. It means to be clairvoyant on something. Like, to know something isn't just to know it. Like, it's not just like, oh, I know it. It's to know it. So she's saying it's to take something and become of it. So she is basically saying, I am going to eradicate them from existence. She's not just like, oh, I'm going to kill Titus, or I'm going to get vengeance. She's like, I will erase the name Andronicus from the earth on which we stand. That's what raise means, and massacre. It's depletion. She's literally the stakes are so high. So yes. Let's wrap up. Let's try it one more time. Just read through the whole thing, kind of keeping everything in mind.
Yeah, just do it again. Do it perfectly.
Give it a shot, then I'll do it, then we'll wrap up.
Great. Yield
the whole thing
from
the top.
From the top,
From
not
the
so,
top,
my lord?
not so, my
then
lord.
keep
The
doing
gods of
this
Rome
too.
forfend, I should be author to dishonor you.
Okay. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend, I should be author to dishonor you. For good Lord Titus, innocence in all, whose fury not dissembled speaks his griefs. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are but newly planted in your throne. Less than the people and patricians too, upon a just survey take Titus' part, and so supplant you for ingratitude, which Rome reputes to be a heinous sin. Yield at entreats, and then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all, and raise their faction and their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain.
Good. Look at that. Ready to tour. We'll see you on
Let's
Broadway.
take it on the road.
Shakespeare in the Park, 2025,
2030.
Okay, now I'm gonna try it because I love the speech so much. Okay,
Go.
and you'll be Saturday night.
Okay.
All right. Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend, I should be author to dishonor you. But on mine honor dare I undertake, for good Lord Titus, innocence in all, whose fury not dissembled, speaks his griefs. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Be won at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are but newly planted in your throne. Lest then the people and patricians too, upon a just survey, take Titus' part, and so supplant you for ingratitude, which Rome reputes to be a heinous sin. Yield at entreats, and then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all, and raise their faction and their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain. Come, Titus. Yeah,
Go off, girl.
Pop off,
Pop
girl.
off, girl. Pop what?
Thank you so much. Let's give a hand to Darwin, our lovely pupil, for bearing with this fun exercise. I was so excited to do a little bit of Shakespeare with him. That's just how I kind of that's just a rough sketch of how I kind of approach Shakespeare's language so that I really can understand it and feel like I'm getting what's happening. And so I hope that you can take some time to just read it and be sure to look up every word in the dictionary, because it's such a simple thing, but it really, really helps unlock this whole world of beautiful language. Because Shakespeare is not, for me, it's not about the plot as much as it is about the words. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Pickle. You can find me on social media at Pickle Drag Queen. Last night, I was featured on Discovery's Dodgeball Thunderdome. So if you go to my Instagram, you can actually follow the link in my bio to watch me get pelted with dodgeballs. And I actually won my episode, so it's worth a watch.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Oh, no. Well, they would know.
We don't know who wins.
We don't know. I wasn't there. So thank you so much, and thank you again to LA Public Library. Please vote, register to vote, and be sure to check out some of the amazing resources that LAPL is offering during this quarantine period. There's the LA Made workshops and all these workshops, but there's also, you can still check out books, and there's a huge just wealth of resources with just this unlockable with your library card. They've got a whole video streaming service. They have lots of resources online that I've been taking advantage of. You can even check out books on your Kindle, I believe. So my stepdad told me and has been doing it. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful night. And bisous, as the French would say. Mwah, 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 mwah.